What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to discuss yesterday's big leak regarding Blackout, as well as possibly some new maps in multiplayer. A lot of you guys have probably already seen this. I am a day late on this because I just simply didn't have time to put this video together yesterday, and yesterday's video is already planned. But I still wanted to share my thoughts on this, as well as share it for anybody that might have missed this. So first up, I will leave a link to the source of this leak in the description below. This is taken from the code of the beta build of the game on PC. And with this, there were a bunch of text strings, and in these text strings, the one big piece of information, and the one that everybody noticed, is play Blackout with up to 100 players. So for a lot of people, they've been saying this is confirmed. Blackout is going to have 100 players, which is a big surprise to a lot of people because a lot of people were doubting this, and last we heard they weren't testing at 100 players. They were testing at something like 60 or 64 or something like that for the number of players last time we heard based on leaks. Now, from the beginning, when we first heard that Call of Duty was going to be doing a battle royale, I've been very skeptical about them reaching a player count number up to 100. My guess has always been that we would reach somewhere around that 60 to 64 mark, and also based on the information we have that the map size is likely going to be similar to the map size of Fortnite, combined with the fact that we have land, sea, and air vehicles, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a slightly lower number. But now it appears they might actually be pushing that up to 100 players, which I think it would be great. I mean, the more the better, as long as performance doesn't suffer too much. I'll be honest, even after this leak, I'm a little bit skeptical, and this isn't necessarily confirmation. It could easily be a placeholder of some sort. So we don't know for sure. This isn't officially confirmed, and I do still have my doubts. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do reach 100 players. But I'm not going to get my hopes up on it too much at this point, and I hope I'm just pleasantly surprised that I'm completely wrong. Now, my doubts stem from the fact that currently in Call of Duty, it's optimized for generally 6v6 or 9v9 gameplay at the most, and it's designed around reaching a 60 FPS target with that player count. For them to reach something like 100 players, that seems like a major overhaul would have to be done, and a lot of adjustments would have to be done. But then again, of course that's going to be happening when you are increasing the map size so significantly. So we don't know exactly how they're handling this and what kind of systems are going to be in place. We don't know what the frame rate is going to be like in Blackout. We don't know what the textures are going to be like, if they're going to have to downgrade everything and make the graphics a little bit worse, which I suspect they'll have to do to an extent, at least on the console versions of the game. But I will say this leak of potentially having 100 players gets me excited, but of course I'm not expecting 100 players. I'm still keeping some of that skepticism. Now, another big part of that leak that came out has to do with parachuting. There are several strings relating to parachuting in this, which seems to suggest that we will be entering the map with a parachute like PUBG or Fortnite or H1Z1, and I really hope this is the case. In my opinion, that is the best way to spawn in a battle royale game, is with a parachute where you can choose your landing. You can choose how much risk you want to take if you want to land in a really high traffic area, or you can land in a low traffic area, and you can also adapt mid-flight to see where other players are landing and figure things out from there. Now, the reason we aren't too sure about whether or not there'll be parachuting is previous leaks had suggested that they were testing out different spawning systems, possibly parachuting, but also possibly picking a spawn point, or maybe even randomly spawning at a point on the map. So overall, seeing these text strings relating to parachuting does seem promising, and I'm hoping that's going to be how we spawn in Blackout. Another thing we learned yesterday, and keep in mind this part is direct from Treyarch and Activision, this is completely confirmed, are the beta dates for Xbox One as well as PC. For PS4, just in case you guys missed it, the beta starts on September 10th for Blackout. And now it's been confirmed that for Xbox and PC, the private beta starts on the 14th, and for PC, they're once again going to be having an open beta as well, starting on the 15th of September. This is really exciting to see that they're going to be doing an open beta for PC. I think most Fortnite players out there are going to at least give it a shot and see what they think of it, whereas if it was a private beta like it is on the consoles, that might not have been the case. So I think definitely the more people that get their hands on it and try it, the better. I'm also really hoping that they'll end up opening up the beta for Xbox and PS4, but we really don't know what's going to happen with that, because I thought that was going to be the case with the multiplayer beta, and that never did happen, unlike previous years with betas. Another thing that's really interesting to note that some people have been talking about a little bit within the community is they haven't set an end date for this Blackout beta. A lot of people are speculating that this will actually turn into essentially early access, and the beta will go on until the launch of the game because the game launches just 1 month later. Other people, myself included, are speculating that it's going to be about a week long for PS4 and therefore basically just over the weekend for Xbox and PC. I think this is probably a little bit more realistic. Of course, again, this is an area where I'd love to be wrong and I'd love the Blackout beta to actually just suddenly turn into early access and it's there until launch. That would be amazing and it would completely screw up my September, but that would be great and I'd love to see that. I don't really think that's the case though. I think we will likely see it go on for about a week on PS4 and just over the weekend for Xbox and PC. But at this point, we really don't know because they haven't set an end date for it. Now, one last thing to mention, and this is getting back to the leak, so this isn't the confirmed stuff, is within those text strings, there were also several map names that weren't familiar, like Silo, Frenetic, and Offshore. This had a lot of people excited, thinking these are names of new maps that haven't been announced yet and haven't been revealed yet, and this means we're definitely going to have a good amount of maps at launch. Unfortunately, it appears these are just developer names for those maps, which is very common practice. The map names that they use when they're actually developing the map and the map names that show up in the code are very often not the same name that they will be using when they actually launch the map. So Silo is almost definitely payload, Offshore is contraband, and Frenetic is frequency. And actually with Frenetic, I remember back from the live stream when they revealed frequency, I think they slipped up and called it Frenetic at one point and then explained that that was their dev name for it. So that just goes to show that these map names that they showed in these text strings are almost definitely the maps that we already played. It's just the dev names for those maps. Now that doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to have a lot of maps at launch, and I'm still hoping we're going to see at least like 13 or 14 maps at launch compared to World War II, which I believe had 9 maps at launch. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but so far we do have at least 11 maps confirmed for launch, as well as Nuketown, which will be coming 1 month after launch. And one of those maps was actually just revealed at Gamescom today. I'm trying to get my hands on some gameplay that I can use on my channel for that. Hopefully I'll have some for you guys maybe even tomorrow. I'm not too sure about that. But so far, it is looking pretty decent for map counts, although unfortunately, out of those 11 maps that we know of for launch, 4 of those are remade Black Ops maps. So I am really hoping we'll still see several maps that we haven't heard of, haven't seen yet that come at launch, and I think we will see at least a few, because I don't really want that map count to be carried by throwback maps, no matter how much I love those maps in previous Black Ops titles. So with that, that's pretty much all the new information I have for you guys at this point. I'd love to know in the comment section below. First up, what are your thoughts on Blackout potentially having 100 players? Do you think they can pull it off while still maintaining performance? Do you think it's an accurate number, or do you think we'll end up with less? And also, how long do you think the Blackout beta is going to last? Do you think it will go all the way until the launch of the game, or do you think it's going to be just like 1 week or maybe even up to 2 weeks? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah.